I wanted to begin by asking, do we all possess a degree of narcissism? And is a certain degree of narcissism necessary to be a healthy, functioning human being?
Yes, the answer is yes, and it is. Narcissism is a trait. And as a trait, it's probably hereditary. There's probably a genetic component that determines how much narcissism we're going to have. But everyone has a modicum of narcissism. Everyone has narcissism to some degree. Now, narcissism can be healthy, and when narcissism is healthy, it is at the foundation of the regulation of self-esteem and self-confidence and a sense of self-worth. Narcissism also allows us to redirect various energies. It's kind of a channeling mechanism for various energies, and so it's at the root of ambition and working hard and accomplishing things and so on. And so narcissism is good for you, actually. But like everything else that is healthy, it can go awry. It can become malignant or cancerous. And so then that's when we use the phrase pathological narcissism.
Now, my understanding of it from my deep reading, lo these many years, wonder why, is that the narcissist, the true narcissist, and I do want to get to the other end of the spectrum, but we'll walk there to the malignant narcissist. Do they know, A, how bad they are? And B, is it true that true narcissistic personality disorder is really resistant to treatment?
We'll start with the first question, which is always a good idea. And they are aware of their actions and the impacts that their actions are having on other people. So it is not true that narcissists are not self-aware. They know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly what are the consequences and outcomes of their choices, decisions, and ultimately actions. However, they're completely unaware of their motivations. And because they are unaware of motivation, they kind of come up with a narrative that would explain why they're doing what they're doing. And so the narrative is always self-justifying. We call it an ego-syntonic narrative. It's a narrative that makes the narcissist feel good about himself or herself. It's a narrative that provides the narcissist with the kind of context and motivation and attitude that would render the narcissist's actions socially acceptable in the narcissist's eyes. So a narcissist would never say about himself, I'm saying himself, half of all narcissists are women, but a narcissist would never say about himself, I'm a bad person. He would say, I'm giving you tough love, or I'm doing this for your own sake, or I'm trying to save you, or you are not aware and I'm waking you up. Or so there will always be some kind of storyline or some kind of fiction or some kind of narrative that would justify what the narcissist is doing. As to the second question, depends how you define narcissism, and depends how you define treatment, and depends how you define healing, and so on and so forth. It's a lot more complex than it sounds. In a nutshell, we are in clinical settings perfectly able to induce in the narcissist what we call behavioral modification. So we're able to change the narcissist's behaviors. We are able to render the narcissist less antisocial, less abrasive, less obnoxious, more palatable, easier to live with. We can do this in therapy. There's a variety of treatment modalities, from schema therapy, some variants of CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, and so on and so forth. And they're pretty successful at accomplishing this. The problem with behavior modification, it is short-term, so you need a lot of maintenance sessions. Otherwise, the effect of the therapy wanes and kind of vanishes, dissipates, and the narcissist reverts to form, to ill form, if I may add. That's the first problem. And the second problem is that the narcissist's behaviors are not always the main issue, are not always the main problem. Because there are many people who misbehave. There are many people whose misconduct is egregious, and they're not narcissists. The problem with the narcissist is not so much the narcissist's behaviors and choices and decisions, which are always kind of malevolent, if you wish. But the problem is the narcissist's personality, the narcissistic core, the narcissistic identity, and how interacting with the narcissist within a fantastic space, the fantastic space the narcissist foists on you, how this impacts you in the long term.
When you say fantastic space, Sam, could you define that and describe that a bit?
Yeah, the narcissist offers you a deal. He says, reality is unbearable, it's intolerable, and I'm going to take you out of reality. I'm going to shield you. I'm going to create a firewall between you and reality. And I'm going to transport you into a Disneyland kind of a fantasy. And you're going to inhabit this fantasy. And within this fantasy, you are perfect. You're a perfect being. You're amazing. You are gracious. You are drop-dead gorgeous. You are super intelligent. You're everything you've ever dreamed to be, of being. And so the fantasy is self-aggrandizing, and it's very addictive. It's intoxicating. You see yourself through the narcissist's gaze in a way that finally justifies self-love. You can finally love yourself because you're perfect now. You're flawless. Mm-hmm. And so this is the core of the fantasy. It isolates you from reality. The second part of the fantasy says, now that you are a guest in my fantasy, that's what the narcissist says. Now that you're a guest in my fantasy, now that I've afforded you access to an idealized version of you, which allows you to love yourself finally, now that I've done all this for you, I expect you to reciprocate. And I expect you to reciprocate in two ways. One, I will assume all responsibility for you and for your life. So you will no longer have agency, you will no longer have independence, you'll no longer be independent, you will no longer have personal autonomy. I'm taking all this away from you. So this is the Faustian deal with the narcissist. And the second thing, you're going to provide me with several things. You're going to provide me with what I call the 4 S's. The 4 S's are sex, services, supply, narcissistic or sadistic, and stability, safety, a sense of safety. Now, if you provide the narcissist with 2 out of the 4 S's, you're in. The job is yours. There's a job interview. It's called auditioning. And if you pass the job interview, you're inducted into the fantasy. From that moment on, you become the narcissist's servant. But it's not a lopsided deal. It's not a lopsided deal because many victims of narcissists have never experienced self-love before. Ross Rosenberg calls it a self-love deficit. And so, and here is the narcissist, and through his gaze, and within the fantastic space that he laboriously constructs for you, he makes you feel safe, he makes you feel perfect, he takes away all the drudgery of life and all the responsibilities and all the need to make decisions and choices which might turn out to be the wrong ones. And he kind of regresses you, he infantilizes you. And now you're a baby. You're his baby. And as a baby, you're entitled to unconditional love. And as a baby, you're safe. And as a baby, all your needs are taken care of. And as a baby, nothing bad would ever happen to you. And of course, as a baby, you never get to make decisions and choices or to have friends or whatever. You're totally isolated as a baby. And so there's a regressive element in the fantasy.
At what point do you find in your experience the so-called victims of narcissists that the light bulb goes off? That first phase, which you described so eloquently, colloquially we in America call the idealization phase or the love bombing phase, and that is a finite phase. It cannot go on forever. At what point do you see the non-narcissists light bulb go off and say something's awry here? Something's very awry here.
Yeah, light bulbs hopefully go on, not off, but yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yes, of course, on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah. There are 2 sets of circumstances where light bulbs might go on. And the first one is if the narcissist overdoes it, if the narcissist exaggerates. If the discrepancy between what you know about yourself and what the narcissist is communicating to you via love bombing, and if the narcissist is psychopathic, grooming you, and the idealization phase, which is a clinical term, by the way.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. Idealization is a clinical term. So I was trying to avoid clinical terms. So, but yeah, you're right. The correct term is idealization. So within this phase, the narcissist might overdo it, and then you kind of feel you feel the discrepancy. You say to yourself, "This can't be true. Something's wrong here." You know, so. For example, if you know that you're good looking but not particularly intelligent, or highly intelligent but not particularly good looking, or whatever, and here comes the narcissist and says that you're the most beautiful person or woman he has ever seen in his life, and simultaneously you far exceed Albert Einstein's IQ and so on. If you have a minimal self-critical capacity, a minimum of introspection, a minimum self-awareness, this is a light bulb moment, because you're going to wake up, you're going to say, he's manipulating me. He's just trying to manipulate me. And so this is one option. And the second and much more common set of circumstances is when the narcissist transitions ineluctably is another word for inevitably, from idealization to devaluation. Now, devaluation is a built-in feature within the shared fantasy. It's not a bug, it's a feature. The narcissist must devalue you in order to discard you. And the narcissist must devalue you and must discard you because you are his mother. And he is reenacting early childhood conflicts with the maternal figure. We'll not go there. But at some point, the narcissist begins to reverse course. And instead of intelligent, you become stupid. And instead of drop dead gorgeous, you are merely drop dead, and so on and so forth. And this sudden shift, and it's very abrupt, and it has nothing to do with external circumstances. Unlike a lot of misinformation online, it's not that you have criticized the narcissist, or you did not adhere to the narcissist's demands, and then the narcissist devalues you. The narcissist would devalue you even if you are the most obsequious, submissive, catering to all his needs, and he would still devalue you. It's about him, not about you. And at that point, of course, you wake up. At that point, you wake up.
Yes, there's no winning. There's no winning with a true narcissist.
No.
Do you love olive oil? If so, have you ever tasted it farm fresh? If not, your first taste will be a revelation. Just born of earth and tree, farm fresh olive oil is bright, vivid, grassy. It's like a garden in a bottle, and it adds amazing flavor to all of your meals. Listen, if we insist on fresh milk and eggs, fresh meat and fish, fresh fruits and veggies, we should insist on fresh olive oil, because in every case, freshness makes a huge difference in flavor and in nutrition. But you'll never find fresh olive oils in supermarkets where they can sit on the shelf for months or even years. Prove the difference to yourself with a free $39 bottle direct from an award-winning artisanal farm. Pay just $1 to help cover shipping, and your $39 bottle is free, courtesy of TJ Robinson, known worldwide as the olive oil hunter. TJ searches the world for the best tasting olive oil, and he ships it direct at peak farm fresh flavor and nutrition. Try your first bottle free with no obligation or commitment to buy anything. For your free $39 bottle, go to farmfresh222.com. That's farmfresh222.com, farmfresh222.com.